What's up, guys? Quick truck video. I didn't really want to make this video, but I figured I had to put my 2 cents out here. It's kind of eating me up that I'm not saying anything about this. So for those who are aware, Silence Central right now is getting a lot of gruff because, and rightfully so, because it appears, at least the allegations appear, that they have been using lobbyists to try to prevent the Hearing Protection Act from getting passed and keeping, they want to try to keep SBRs and try to keep suppressors on the NFA, and basically they've got this guy from Tennessee, this congressman, to basically subvert the process and try to, keep all this stuff to where you still have to deal with the NFA crap, And the allegation is that, like, their company, right, basically specializes and benefits from the current NFA process, right? From the NFA, they get to make all the extra cash from handling all the process for you. And, like, the theory is, should that process end, they cease to be useful. Should that process end, they cease to be useful, and they now just become another company that just trying to sell suppressors, basically like an Amazon for suppressors, instead of providing you with a service of handling all your NFA paperwork, all the extra fees and fingerprints and everything else all associated with that. They would lose all that in theory. This is, again, another example of a company who claims to be pro-2A, claims to stand up for your Second Amendment rights, and doesn't. Just blatantly tramples all over them because they want to make more money than they want to make more freedom, if that makes sense. Like, I worked in the gun industry. I used to work at a gun store / gun range in Spokane, Washington, called Sharpshooting Indoor Range and Gun Shop, which, if you're in Washington, Idaho, wherever else, around there, please go check them out. They need your support. They need your money. Like, they're good people doing good stuff, and they're putting their money where their mouth is. But the biggest thing that I learned while I was there was kind of how the inner workings of the gun lobby work when it comes to lawmaking. And one thing that I think is huge that people need to understand is that the gun industry, the companies themselves, do not care about your Second Amendment rights. Let me rephrase that. There are not all against you. There are some who will stand for you. And I'll have a link down below to a no compromise list of companies who stand on business, right? But there are multiple companies, especially some that once they get government contracts, they no longer care about you. Like, look at a company like SIG, right? SIG was really big about trying to take care of customers until they landed a military contract. The minute they got the contract for the M17s and the M18s, you no longer became their priority. They do not care. They are locked into a military contract that will give them billions of dollars. You are nothing to them. Look at a company like HK. HK is a world supplier of military goods. They do not care about your civilian market, right? Especially the American civilian market. They don't care that they only make X amount of guns a year, that they only get certain things like that. It is not a priority for them. It is not a priority for you. Now, granted, I understand HK is foreign, but still, SIG, right? Like, think about how much they've been gaslighting everybody over the 320s lately, right? They're not here to help you. They don't care. There are tons of companies out there, like Springfield a few years back, I think Smith & Wesson a few years back. The list goes on and on and on and on of companies that will chase the bottom dollar, even if that means destroying your rights, because they think it'll bring about a gun scare or whatever reason, for whatever reason, the way things are, the status quo lines their pockets. And the thing that pisses me off the most about this, as we have seen time and time again, the gun industry is one of the most innovative industries in the world, right? California passes a law saying you can't have stuff. Companies make things specifically to negate that, right? Look at something like the Cali key, right? California's like, hey, you got to take your AR-15, you got to make it super dumb if you want to be able to use it, and have all these, to get rid of all these features, blah, 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 blah. And a company like Cali Key comes out and goes, better yet, we'll sell you this replacement charging handle that turns your weapon into a bolt action, so you can keep all the features, you can still keep the old bolt, and you can just, have this bolt action, and then, should things come worse to worse, slapping your old bolt, away you go, right? Companies like this who, like, look at companies like I think it's Wiseman Company that makes makes a piece of material that kind of goes into it's like the split fix, I think is what it's called, that goes for braces, right, to kind of make it more shootable. There's all kinds of companies that find these niche ways to circumvent all the different gun laws that are out there in ways that bring about good stuff to you. Like, think about the FRT triggers, right? Like, how cool these things are in a way that, like, they do things legally, but they find ways to negate terrible gun laws, right? That innovation, why are these big companies not doing that kind of innovation? right? Why is it up to smaller single-hand companies to do this, right? There's a ton of mom and pop shops. There's a ton, and like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the gun industry is like gun stores hate you. Gun stores and mom and pop shops, they're putting their money where their mouth is, right? Prime example, Washington State. I've talked about this. I've harped about this in the podcast again and again and again. We have terrible gun laws in Washington State. Absolutely some of the worst in the country right now. I think they actually are worse than California currently. My old boss, Jeremy Ball, shout out to this guy at Sharpshooting Indoor Range and Gun Shop. Please, again, support this guy. He has put tons of money up fighting the state every step of the way. He's been the main plaintiff on every single gun bill that has come across Washington State. He testifies every time. He supports financially. He does everything. He's putting his own money in his mouth where his mouth. He is putting his money where his mouth is, spending his own time and his own money and his own energy to go out here and fight. And the biggest thing that pisses me off is we used to get reps that would come into the store all the time. Sales reps from different big companies, FN, SIG, Springfield, Smith & Wesson, things like this, right? And one of the things that I always ask, like, oh, hey, how's business, blah, blah, blah. Hey, what can we do for you? And they would ask, like, sometimes the employees. And the biggest thing we would respond is fight. Tell your legal teams, put your money where your mouth is. Help us. The thing is, like, the thing too is like when it comes to these lobbyists, that's like at the federal level, but think about like at the state level, right? We would not have these terrible gun laws if gun companies stood on what they believe in, or at least say they believe in as a selling point. We could outspend the Bloombergs every day of the week. There is no reason any state should now in 2025 have an assault weapons ban or a magazine capacity ban, because every gun company, instead of bowing down to the anti-gun lobby or trying to promote it as a new way to sell different products, should be out there fighting and putting their money where their mouth is, but they don't, because they don't care. At the end of the day, they are a business and they are trying to make money. And if that means fucking you over, they will do it. So keep that in mind. Buy from companies that support you. Stop spending your money. Like, look, when the whole Dylan Mulvaney thing happened with Bud Light, everyone stopped buying Bud Light to the point that Bud Light shit a brick, right? Do that. These companies are doing this crap to protect their bottom line. Ruin their bottom line. Make it non-existent. They are doing this stuff to stay in business. Stop buying from them now so they won't stay in business. Support small gun shops. Support your locals joints, right? Instead of buying a suppressor on Silencer Central, go down to your local mom and pop shop. One, I'm willing to bet it might be a little cheaper, and that guy there, he cares. His money is where his mouth is. His livelihood is on the line to fight for your rights. He's going to be more well invested in your opportunity and your ability to carry a weapon and to buy weapons and get rid of the NFA than anybody in DC or any major financial institution or any kind of gun company. Support local. Find the companies that support you. I mean, think of them like, oh, they sell guns. They care for my rights. No, they are a major business. First off, they sell a product, right? And you're not the only one buying it. So they will 100% screw you over if it means protecting their bottom line and pushing that can down the road. They will not lose a dollar to stand up for you. Meanwhile, you have tons of companies fighting for you that know that their entire livelihood or like half their product line could vanish overnight if this passes, and they still fight for you because they value your rights and your freedoms over their money. And that is the kind of business you should be supporting. So you have to do a little digging. You got to do a little, figuring this out. I'm going to have some links down below for companies that are super awesome like that, whether they're selling guns, products, whatever. I don't have any affiliate links with these guys. I'm not making any money off of this. I'm just telling you guys, stop supporting companies that are fucking you over.